Morning. Good morning, everyone, and a very warm welcome to the 2025 Clinical Trial Innovation Summit. My name is Ernst, Medical Director Digital Health at Roche, and I will guide you through today's conference. It's truly fantastic to see such a broad group of esteemed and diverse colleagues from across the industry gathered here today. For those not from Basel, I hope you had a good trip, and you will appreciate that CTIS is the third largest international event here at Basel, after Eurosong Festival and Art Basel. And even better, there are only winners here today, and there is absolutely nothing abstract about the lineup of presentations today, focused on solving some of the toughest problems in clinical trial design and execution. While we took a brief break last year, the continued and strong interest from our community, of which you are living proof, and the opportunity to create a continuum of innovation discussions, building on the Digital Biomarker Summit yesterday, made it clear that bringing CTIS Basel back in 2025 was essential. So, let's begin. I'm very excited to kick off the conference with Luca Finelli. Luca is Vice President and Global Head of Digital Endpoints and Patient-Centered Solutions at Roche. His career spans over 20 years in the pharmaceutical industry, and before Roche, he held pivotal roles at Novartis across research, development, commercial, and corporate functions, making an impact with transformative AI and digital initiatives. Luca's fascination with computational intelligence began in the early 90s, starting as a research fellow in computational neuroscience at the Salk Institute, and he holds a Master of Science in Theoretical Physics and earned his PhD by integrating data, imaging, big data, data science, and medicine, both obtained at the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology in Zurich. With that, I would like to give the stage to Luca Finelli.
Thank you, Ernst. Thank you very much for the nice introductions. Welcome, everyone, on behalf of Roche. It's great to see so many people here at 8:30 this morning after another super hot night in Basel with maybe not so much sleep. Yes, some familiar faces, actually, from previous year experiences, and many new faces, so opportunities for connecting. I would like to thank the organizers of this conference, first for having this conference here, which is very relevant to all of us, and also for giving the opportunity for giving these opening remarks. So, as you see, I'm leading this group, Digital Endpoints and Patient-Centered Solutions, and this is probably the reason why I was offered to speak at the opening remark. And this is a group that really we are building now, and is bringing together the capabilities of digital health, user-centric design, AI and machine learning, analytics, and also measurement science and patient-centered outcome research, such that we can fully leverage the potential of integrating these approaches to really drive our clinical trials through the future. So what are my opening remarks? I think first we had a great first day yesterday. I almost like to consider this conference a two-day conference with so many intertwined topics. And we heard about so many topics which are very relevant to also what we are going to discuss today. We heard a concept I really like, the unmet needs of measurement. We heard about the importance of continuous measures versus the sporadic measures that we typically have at patient visits during clinical trials. We heard about the great successes that are already on the ground into measuring stuff from people, like sleep, which is the field I did my PhD on, so this is a very established one, but also motion, also continuous glucose monitoring, and many others. And also we heard it, and this is very important also for us today, that what is it that we need to measure that is actually clinically meaningful for the patient and for the development we want to do. And how do we then prove it that it's clinically meaningful? We heard about digital twins, we heard about the importance to perform validation studies, and we heard about the potential of optimizing the design of clinical trials to reach a smaller sample size, shorter duration. We heard about the potential of real-world data that can help us to reduce the need of clinical data and hence contributing to more efficient clinical research, and so many other topics. And so what is really different today from yesterday? Arne Muller put it yesterday. I thought it was a very interesting sentence to quote. Like he said, it's inevitable that we will have some successes soon, but it's not yet time to party. And I think this is maybe what we're going to focus on today. How do we get to party? Right? So we're going to really go deeper into two areas, like how the technologies we are all excited about can really innovate clinical trials, and also what needs to happen for this to really deliver value at scale. So today we have a very rich agenda, as you probably saw. There are 4 content blocks. We're going to start soon with a fireside expert kickoff. There's going to be more than 10 case studies. There are going to be panels, company presentations, and then several networking opportunities, which I really encourage everyone to leverage. But what is most important and precious, in my opinion, is that in the afternoon we have a panel discussion involving 2 esteemed patient representatives, Nicola Unterrecker and Vera Gomez. And also we have a dedicated session with a professional patient representative, which is Mark Duman, who is going to give us the inpatient perspective. So I thought this is very relevant and central also to Roche, because we are really driven by this philosophy of doing now what patients need next. This slide, it's almost in every presentation that Roche does at the end. Like we end up with this slide. So I thought to bringing it up a bit forward into the deck today, given this. So trying to summarize a bit what is the context of today and be a bit of a spotlight through the agenda, I sort of summarize what I think are the 5 key opportunities which are going to be discussed today. So first, we're going to shift from digital biomarkers data collection to the comprehensive digital health technology implementation across the clinical trial lifecycle. While the previous day focused on digital biomarkers as endpoints and their measurement, today we'd really delve into how digital health technologies are comprehensively implemented to improve efficacy measurements, patient recruitment, safety, and drug delivery. And this represents a shift from what data can be collected, like biomarkers, to how the technology enabling the collection can actually optimize the entire clinical trial process, impacting broader outcomes like patient recruitment, safety, and the delivery of therapies. Then the second opportunity is innovations in clinical trial design and execution beyond data acquisition, including AI and decentralized trials. Now, yesterday we touched on decentralized trials, and we saw them perhaps primarily as a mean for data collection. Today, we're going to broaden this to industry trends and innovations in virtual, hybrid, and decentralized trials, with a specific focus on innovations in design, so like leveraging AI and machine learning, and knowledge management, and innovations in execution through the use of digital health technologies, decentralized trials, and also site experience. So this theme is at the center of the fireside expert kickoff that's going to just follow this opening remark session. And it really emphasizes strategic redesign and operational execution of trials, moving beyond just gathering biomarker data to leveraging advanced technologies like AI and machine learning for trial design, and enhancing the entire site and patient experience with decentralized modules. Speaking of AI, I want to put another person on the spot. Later this morning, we have an important session on the AI policy environment for medicines development, including clinical trials. And my dear colleague, Thomas Brooklund from Roche, will delve into Europe's rapidly evolving AI policy landscape. And this session is particularly relevant and timely, as there is a new AI guidance from the EMEA on the horizon, as you probably all know, and which will undoubtedly impact the way we operate around this. The third opportunity is accelerating patient-centric trials through broad-ranging innovations and technologies. And now, while both conferences, yesterday and today, address the patient perspective and measuring what matters to patients, today's theme of accelerating patient-centric trials, innovations, and technologies really distinguishes itself by emphasizing the acceleration and the broader spectrum of innovations beyond biomarkers applied to achieve patient centricity. And this includes identifying and implementing a wider array of technologies to make trials more focused on the patient's experience and needs, and facilitating faster and more effective clinical development. So this topic will be opened by a panel at 12 o'clock, just before lunch, which is entitled Identifying Innovations and Technologies Accelerating Patient-Centric Trials. Fourth, enhancing inclusive research in clinical studies. Now, starting after lunch, we have a dedicated focus on enhancing diversity in clinical trials, where the stakeholder perspectives and also how we take ideation into action will really be the keys to delivering inclusive, human-centered clinical trials. And the accent is really on inclusive in this part. This will involve exploring patient perspectives and cultural considerations in clinical trials, which will be the opening panel of that session, and case studies like end-to-end inclusive research and the frailty of diversity, including older adults in oncology trials. And this critical team addresses who really participates in our clinical trials, like in ensuring that the innovations which are discussed, including digital endpoints, are actually truly applicable and beneficial across the diverse patient population. And then finally, and for those who have been in this field for long, we know how central this is, and without this, nothing is going to happen. The 5 opportunity is really operationalizing and scaling innovations, moving ideas into action for sustainable success. So following the discussion on biomarker development and adoption from yesterday, today we move into the crucial phase of ideas into action, like delivering human-centered clinical trials. And here the access is on delivering. So this team focuses on the practical aspects of implementation, scaling, and ensuring the sustainability of clinical innovations. And there are case studies like delivering decentralized clinical trials for scale and sustainability. They highlight the challenges and solutions in bringing innovative concepts, including the use of digital biomarkers as endpoints, to fully operational maturity and widespread use in the clinical research ecosystem. So taken together, actually, these teams also illustrate a fundamental truth in our pursuit for R&D excellence. The immense need and also the power of collaboration. Like, all of this can only happen if all of our expertise and forces are joined together and we collaborate to achieve all of that. And it's not just about collecting data. It's also about how we are bringing diverse perspective and diverse information together. And in today's landscape, this means recognizing the incredible opportunity to combine multiple data collection solutions to generate sensitive and robust multimodal digital endpoints for clinical trials. So we have an incredible lineup of speakers today, and through thought leaders from Roche, colleagues from Roche and esteemed other colleagues from companies like UCB, Novo Nordisk, Sanofi, J&J, Novartis, and more. And their insights will be undoubtedly useful and spark lively discussions and provide, hopefully, actionable takeaways from all of us. So thank you again for being here. Your presence really underscores the importance of all of this work that everyone is doing here. And I encourage you to really actively participate and share your perspectives and take the most of the networking opportunities which are spread out throughout the day. So really together, let's make the Clinical Innovation Trial Summit a truly impactful event. And without further delay, let the show begin.